Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about a few things regarding Arionne Curry. I want to talk about some of the factors I believe that play a role between her and Martell's relationship. And then I also want to talk about some lessons that can be learned. I know a lot of us are aware that being in a relationship with a married man does not fare well for you in the end. However, there are a lot of young ladies who are misguided and misinformed and talked into being in situations that don't serve them. And so I want to talk about the lessons that can be learned from the situation. I know Arionne has been pretty resistant to receiving information from the public, but hopefully this video can help someone who may be in her shoes or who may be tempted to be in a relationship such as this one. And if you don't know, Arionne Curry is the mother of martellholt's child outside of his marriage. He was married for, I believe, 11 or 12 years to Melody Holt. They are now divorced with 4 children. But first, welcome to my channel. My name is Sonia. I am a certified life coach, self-love advocate, here to help you heal so that you can have healthy relationships and date in a safe, healthy manner. I want to start with saying I don't condone Arionne's decisions, her choices, and her behavior as of late. However, I do understand that there are always other factors in play. And today I want to talk about those factors. I think sometimes we don't really realize how our past and our trauma and our unhealed parts play a role in the decisions that we made. The truth is, sometimes the conditioning in our environment play a huge role in the decisions we make and the type of relationships that we have. I believe there are several factors that are at play here. Please check out my video I did on Martell for further insight there. For this particular video, I think there are 3 major factors that play a role in their dynamic of the relationship and kind of why they thought the relationship was okay. To start, I think there is a generational belief that this structure of family is okay. Number 1, Martell himself said that he felt entitled to this structure. He felt entitled to have another woman. In season 1, he said Mel gave him everything, but he wanted more. Number 2, you have Melody, who also said that once Martell started hanging with a certain group of men whom this behavior is acceptable with, Martell followed suit. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily true, but that's what it said, and that's all we have to go by. But again, this is considered norm in that circle that they were surrounded by. Also, Martell's cousin is who introduced Arionne and Martell. So to know that your cousin is married and you introduce him to another woman is pretty telling. I would never introduce my married family member to someone I don't want to be involved. But the fact that that was done, again, is very telling. Also, Arionne herself said that her father was a married man. So that lets you know that this is the cultural norm. I also have a feeling that Arionne has been taught that this is okay. If you catch her in some conversations, she kind of lets it slip that she's been informed that this is okay. It's okay to date a married man, that this is what you do, and this is kind of normal because married men always want women like her, right? But I don't think she really understood the impact that it would have on her life and where it would leave her today, because now she has been devalued. And Martell has moved on to Sheree, which is a whole nother conversation. If you guys want a video on that, please let me know. So now Martell has moved on, and all of Arionne's hopes and dreams that were tied up into this relationship, and I'm sure all the promises he probably made, are now for naught, right? She's given 7 years of her life. She's given him a child, and now she is left alone. So I'm sure she's hurting. I know she is, which is why you have to be very careful who advises you, because people will advise you on things, but they don't give you the big picture. So there's been this encouragement to have this structure of a relationship where you have a woman outside of your marriage, but no one talked about the impact that it will have on the children, the wife, the other young lady and the child that they now have together. So it isn't as black and white or as pleasurable as it is made to be. Another factor that plays into the dynamic of their relationship, I believe, is the fact that there may be some abandonment issues there. I know her father wasn't present. I don't know the relationship between her mother and her family as a whole, but she talks about how Martell was the person that was there for her, took care of her. And even now, it's like, where's her family? Now, we know she's been resistant to people trying to advise her. So I don't know if this is just her resistance and people have backed off, or if she really just does not have support. Also, again, she said that her father lived in a separate home. A lot of times we don't realize how much we yearn for what is absent. We seem to think that we're okay because we continue to grow, we continue to blossom, but our childhood and our relationship with our parents impacts us way more than we know. And even though it may not be the parents' intention to lead you down this path, it happens, right? For me, when I look at Arionne, I see someone who has experienced a lot of trauma and a lot of sadness and a lot of abandonment. But she said how Martell has done so much for her, how he helped her and he supported her and he was good to her, and if you've never had that, what he's done for you seems to be so much more than what it is, and you're not really thinking about the cost of giving up your life for someone who won't commit to you, or having a child and now you have to be a single mom. Not knocking single moms, but raising a child isn't easy, right? And you want support, and you have someone who cannot fully be there to support you because he has 4 other children with his ex-wife, and you don't know if they're really going to get a divorce or not. Like, you never really know what's going on. People can tell you anything, right? And so I think that is another huge factor for her. The last factor, I believe that's a big factor in them two, like, being together and staying together so long, is the amount of trauma that I feel or think that Arionne has had. If you really think about it, she's had a lot of loss. There's a lot of grief there. So when I look at Arionne, I see so much pain. I see loneliness. I see sadness. I see trauma. I just see wanting to be loved and accepted, and now being rejected again. And again, that's why my heart breaks for her. I don't agree with or condone anything that she's done, but she's still a human being, and it seems as though she's been left out in the cold again. And I know that has to hurt. Number one, not only have they broken up and all of the promises that he's made to her about this life, what their relationship meant and the value that he bestowed upon her but took back, devalued, is now gone. So that is a loss, and she has to grieve this relationship, the lifestyle that she had, and the hopes and dreams that she was wishing for in the future. And then there's also the loss that they've had within the relationship. She had a miscarriage, she had an abortion, and now the relationship is over. So she's gone through so much trying to hold on to this relationship, and it's led her nowhere but out in the cold, So I think all of that combined are major factors as to why they stay together. I think there may be some abandonment issues there, allegedly. I don't know. I'm just saying, these are just my thoughts. And when you have an issue with abandonment, when you have not grieved properly, it shows up in different ways. And I think that's what we see when we see her acting out on lives and things like that. And again, my heart really does break for her, because in essence, after everything, she has been discarded. So let's get into the lessons, and hopefully this is something that someone can learn from. Number 1, it is not your job to make a person's relationship bearable. If a person is in an unhappy relationship, whether that's a marriage or a boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever the situation is, it is not up to you. It is not your responsibility to make it right. You sacrifice yourself and you betray yourself trying to make life better for another person when this situation clearly will not serve you in the long run. Don't ever sell yourself short. So If they're having problems in their relationship, let them go handle their problem. Don't ever think what they're doing to their spouse or mate cannot be done to you. So if that person will cheat on their wife, they'll cheat on you as well. And hold it over your head, because guess what? You knew I was a cheater, right? You cheated with me. You should understand this is what happens. And of course, there's always exceptions to the rules, but most times, 9 times out of 10, if he cheats on you, he's not either going to be with you, or if he does decide to be with you, he's going to cheat. That's an integrity problem, and you have to see it for what it is. If a person lacks integrity, they lack integrity. That's their character. Understand that, take that in, and move accordingly. You don't want that in your life. Next, when a person's word and actions don't add up, run. When you don't see a person's word and actions adding up, that says a lot. Pay attention to the actions and not the words, right? Because the actions are going to tell you. And if they don't match, they're letting you know they're not consistent. You never want an inconsistent person. So words, actions don't line up, remove yourself. Listen to what someone tells you. Now, this is going to sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I'm not. Want to listen to what they say, because a lot of times a person who has bad intentions will tell you exactly what it is that they're doing. But when someone is making false promises, or their actions and their words don't line up, meaning I'm going to leave my wife, but they're going on vacation, the action doesn't line up with what he's saying. I love you and I want to be with you, but you don't see him moving in the direction of trying to really be with you or solidify the relationship. I want to be married, but in no way is he preparing to be a married man. That's what I'm talking about the words and the actions not lining up. But when you hear someone say certain things like, I don't want a relationship, you need to listen to that, because they don't want a relationship. Don't try to change their mind. Understand that that's what they're saying. Take that in and make the decision. Do you want to be with someone who doesn't want a relationship? If you're seeking a relationship, the answer is no. So it's time for you to move accordingly. Don't stay. Don't try to convince them that they want to be in a relationship. Don't wait it out. Now, if you want to date for dating's sake, have at it. But if you are intentional and your goal is to get married or to have a committed relationship, and this person has told you that they are unavailable, take heed to that and move on. So next up, karma is something special, and you don't want any parts of bad karma. Now, whether you say karma or you say you reap what you sow, the bottom line is what you put out and how you treat others will come back on you. Be very, very mindful about what you do and how you treat others. So when you are intentionally disrespecting a relationship or doing wrong to someone whom you know you are hurting, you are putting something bad out in the universe that I'm sure you don't want back. No one wants to feel that heartache. And so now Arionne has been discarded, and we have Sheree. She's invested so much of her life. She's been with this man for 7 years. She was silent for many, and now he has discarded you and he's on to the next person. I'm sure that has to make her feel awful. But when you see it, goes back to patterns. When you see a pattern in a person, when you see a behavior in a person, if you don't see that person trying to change and work on themselves, really truly understand that that is who they are. And my granddad had this saying, some people are broken coming off the assembly line. And that's true. Some things about some people will never change, but some people will try to manage it. They understand it, and they move in a way, or they operate in a way that prevents them from hurting people. Like, you have to be very intentional on doing the right thing. But if you don't see someone working on themselves, trying to improve themselves, trying to correct their wrongs, or even acknowledge that they have done anything wrong, take heed to that. Again, understand that is who they are, and ask yourself, is this what I want for my life, right? If you can see someone destroy their family, that says a lot. That says a lot about them. And they can have their own issues, right? None of us are perfect, but understand you don't want any part of that. You don't want that coming back. So you have to remove yourself. You don't want that kind of karma. You don't want that seed. You don't want the fruit that seed is going to bear, whichever way you like to say it. Next, I'll say you never covet someone else. Don't envy people. Don't want what they have. Because you know what? You never ever know the truth behind the veil, right? Mel has talked about for years how Martell has spoken to her in a negative way. and how he has cheated on and off, and how Arionne wasn't the only person. And so Arionne's fighting for a place on the stage because she wants to be a part of that life, but she has no idea what Mel had to go through to get to where she is and what she's dealing with, right? So you don't want to be part of that. Don't covet or envy anyone. Next, I will tell her, Arionne, please learn to move in silence. Everyone doesn't need to know your thoughts, your secrets, what you're frustrated about. Like, get a therapist, get a coach, use your journal, talk to the Lord or your source, a higher power, whatever the case may be. But everyone isn't your friend, and everyone isn't going to give you the grace that you should extend yourself or that you feel like you deserve, right? Because the truth is she's hurt. The truth is she was manipulated. The truth is she made bad decisions as well, right? So there's a lot of truth there, but the bottom line is you need to deal with these things in silence, or with people who really are trying to help you, who really care. You're putting so much out here. You have a whole life to live. You have children to raise. You have a business, hopefully, that you can build up, or whatever it is that you want to do with your life. Like, don't put so much of your life and your business out here for people to dissect and pick apart. And now you have to receive all of that, because I'm sure she has enough negative self-talk. And now she has to hear everyone else talk about her negatively as well. Now, I will say, I know there are people who are trying to help her, but she also receives a lot of negativity. Why do you want that energy? Learn to move in silence. Everything isn't for everyone. Lastly, you have to have good self-esteem. You have to understand your worth. You have to understand your value, and you have to understand that everyone won't see the value in you, right? And so it's so important to learn to love yourself, to heal from your past traumas, and to grow and prosper as a person. People make mistakes, and we all have growing pains, but you can grow from them, you can learn from them, and you can move on from them. I honestly feel like if she would just come out and say, you know what, I was wrong, offer a public apology, and just start working on herself, things will turn around for her. But she's so focused on Mel, she's so focused on Martell, and I get it. She's hurt. I get it. She has sacrificed a lot. I'm sure she's been sold a pipe dream. I'm sure she's been told that she was going to be on a TV show and that she was going to be famous and they were going to film together. I'm sure she feels like she's been gypped out of a lot. The best thing for Arionne to do right now is to go no contact with Martell. Get a third party involved to help mediate the visits between him and his son, and go her separate ways. Work on healing, work on rebuilding. It's time for her to live her life for her. She's still a very young woman. She still looks good. She can take care of herself, but she can't keep smearing herself. It's almost like she's sabotaging herself with her behavior, you know? But I understand it really is a cry for help. It's a cry for help, and it's a cry for everything that she's gone through. So my hopes and prayers go out to her and her family. I hope that she gets the help that she needs, and she gets the help for her children as well. And I thank you guys for stopping by. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think Arionne should do? Do you agree or disagree with my commentary? Leave it in the comment section below. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And please don't forget to love yourself for who you are. Take care. Bye-bye.